Do you feel, because a lot of people do feel, that this is wonderful climate policy and that we in the UK should follow suit? Are you one of them?
Yeah, I do think it's a good idea, Michelle. I'm sorry.
Why? If I want to get on a flight to Edinburgh, what has it got to do with you or anybody else to tell me to take a train instead?
Well, I mean, I hope you listen to my advice, because the trains can be quite nice, but they're rubbish in this country, and that's one of the problems we're facing here. So it's got something to do with all of us, because the carbon pollution coming out of flights is very high compared to other transport options like rail transport. And that carbon pollution ultimately will affect us all, and particularly younger generations, because it will raise the global temperature, which then causes crisis.
Why is this climate sentiment? And I get that to you this is very important. I personally do not live my life mooching around thinking, oh, you know, the end is nigh, climate change. I don't walk around protesting about stopping oil and all the rest. Yes, I want the planet to exist for my son, but it doesn't really bother me. I don't really want my life hindering to such a point where I'm being told don't eat meat, don't use oil, drive an electric car, and now the latest one is, Michelle, get a train to Edinburgh. So if you're in London, you want to go to Edinburgh, which I don't, by the way, I'm using it as an example, it's going to take me nearly 5 hours when I could get on a plane in 1.
Well, I think if you add on all of the getting on planes, moving, getting to the airport and so on, of the overall journey time, it isn't actually that much of a saving.
No, because I thought that through as well. I would change the check-in situation for domestic flights.
Nice.
I would. I'd make it a lot shorter. You're going to say I'm incentivising flight, but...
Absent that change... Look, at the end of the day, the climate thing just isn't like a nice issue that we should care about, a sort of soft issue. It's to do with things like food security and conflict. It's not... Sure, you've got Just Boyle talking about the climate issue. You've also got the Ministry of Defence and militaries around the world, because a hotter world is a more chaotic and dangerous world. So ultimately, we need to make these changes so we're stopping that temperature rise and that chaos. But reducing the use of flights, and I would actually put banning private jets above this, I would do that first before we actually got to short-haul flights, is something that might need to be done. But it should only be done...
Do you fly?
No, it should... I'd get the train, but it's too...
No, do you fly, generally? When you go on holiday, do you fly? Do you...
I've flown in the past to Greece, where my wife's family come from.
So you do fly. See, I am not going to be told not to fly by people who fly.
But let me have a go, please. Look, the fact of the matter is, the eco-zealots, the net-zero nutters, the WEF merchants, the Macrons, the Klaus Schwabs, they won't be happy until we're poor and we're happy. This isn't about the climate. This is about controlling the population. It's about taxing us to death. We're in a cost of living crisis, and the poorest people will be forced onto rattly trains that are packed and full of people. The service will go up in price because of supply and demand. Guess what happens? The same people who can't work out that inflation will go up, can't work out train fares will go through the roof. And guess what? Macron will still take his private jets. Charles Michel, he spent £500,000 on a private jet to China. The European Commission chief, he'll take his private jets. Ursula von der Leyen, who flies 50 kilometres in a private jet, they will carry on with their privileged lives, and the poor will get poorer and be forced onto worse and worse transport.